I'm Selene Speaks and welcome back to my channel. President Trump recently sent 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles, California, with hundreds of Marines on standby, leaving people to wonder, are they really protesting out there or rioting? That's what I'll be talking about today. Stick around. You're locked in with Selene Speaks, so let's get into this social critique. Keep it right here. So it's recently been reported that LA's anti-ICE riots have become violent. The LAPD dragged their feet, and so did Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. So President Trump called in 2,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines, and now it's looking like nationwide unrest is next. With these protests spreading all over the country to most major cities, people are wondering what's going to happen next. Los Angeles lit up after the fashion district was raided, and then there were the Home Depots.
And this is where there was that big confrontation between protesters and federal agents. We are on Stanford Avenue in downtown Los Angeles. And well, it all happened right in that white building that you see there on the left. This is where it got tense as agents moved in. Now, the raids this morning were here in this wholesale clothing business called Ambiance. Federal agents were inside, and that's when a crowd formed outside, people surrounding the building. Now, after several hours, that's when more agents came in with armored vehicles and vans, and they moved in to disperse the crowd. As you said, there was pepper spray, confrontations, people screaming at the agents, and agents then moving in to keep a path open, to move in several vans into the parking lot of the building. That's when agents took out those employees from inside, put them in that van, and tried to get them out of here. Now, that's what was going on the way out. People were following the agents. They were trying to stop them. They were yelling at them, throwing things at them. That's when we saw the agents throw out several loud flashbangs to move the crowd. Again, this is just one of several places targeted this morning. As you said, outside of Home Depot in the Westlake area, Homeland Security in the parking lot, and according to people there, about a dozen or so were arrested.
We ran because one of the persons said ICE in Spanish. So that's how basically the one that scattered, but the elderly people that were not able to run, those were the ones that got caught.
Some of those protests against ICE were peaceful. Many opportunists and anarchists showed up, as they always do at every protest. And of course, that's when the protests took a turn for the worse. Cars were set on fire, streets were blocked, equipment was overturned, buildings were sprayed with graffiti, and they're even starting bonfires. And we all know that California has had major issues with wildfires. So to start fires out there for no good purpose is really a bad thing.
Chaos erupts here in LA County. Widespread immigration raids triggering protests from Paramount to downtown. And tonight, an unlawful assembly has been declared as President Trump announces he will be deploying thousands of National Guard troops here to Los Angeles. President Trump has ordered 2,000 National Guard members to counter that violence. And that angered Governor Newsom, who said that the move was purposely inflammatory and will only escalate the tensions.
But it's ridiculous how long it took for LAPD to respond. Some of the reports I've been hearing were saying that it took them about 2 hours to respond, while others were saying it took about 38 minutes. Either way, the ICE agents were trying to do their jobs, and they suffered a lot of abuse. They were being attacked. The rocks were thrown at them, frozen water bottles, all sorts of crazy things were thrown at these people while they were trying to get through to detain these individuals who have no rights to be here. Essentially, ICE was outnumbered and exposed, and of course that left them vulnerable to attack. Now, the reason these ICE agents are showing up in your cities is because your blue city mayors and their state governors will not comply with ICE, and Tom Homan already made it clear that if you will not comply, he's going to put more pressure on these cities. So you can expect for them to continue to do these ICE raids. And this will continue to happen as long as President Trump is still in office. And who knows, it may continue after that. And you can thank your blue city mayors and your state governors for reasons why ICE is showing up in your communities. And I'm here for it. And as I said before, because Bass and Newsom dragged their feet, Trump acted swiftly and tried to get ahead of this. He federalized 2,000 National Guard troops and 700 active duty Marines. And for what I'm understanding now, the military has been authorized to detain these people at these protests, especially when they start rioting. So these days of these opportunists coming in and actually causing chaos and looting and damaging property, vandalizing things, spray painting, graffiti all over everything, those days are over because now the military can detain you and hold your ass until the cops come and get you. And let's not forget about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is the U.S. Attorney General, and she's already stated that she is going to come after all of these people who are causing chaos and damaging property and trying to harm people at these protests. They are coming after these people federally with the Hobbs Act. If you don't know what that is, you might want to look it up.
President Trump is going to make America safe again. We're going to protect Americans, and that includes Californians. If Gavin Newsom isn't going to protect them, we are. And if you loot a business in California during this, we're charging you with robbery under the Hobbs Act. No longer are the days of non-prosecution for looting. It's a criminal act. You've seen on the news all these stores being burglarized, vandalized. We've also seen, Lawrence, all of our police officers, all of our federal, state, local law enforcement officers being abused out there, trying to keep California safe. Jointly, we've all made over 190 arrests, more coming. If you hit a police officer, you assault a police officer, state or federal, we are coming after you. They're going to find you. He thought he could wear a mask and get away with this, but with our technology now and incredible law enforcement work with FBI, DEA, ATF, working with ICE, working with Homeland Security, we're coming after you. We're getting these videos. We're seeing what you're doing. We're finding you. This guy's face is all over the news now, and we are going to catch him.
And I know so many of these people cover their faces. They try to wear gloves and masks and goggles and all sorts of things to conceal their identity. But what they don't realize is that with the surveillance that we have everywhere now in the U.S., they can easily be caught. You know, I watch my favorite channel all the time, Investigation Discovery, and I watch a lot of crime shows. And what I can tell you is that most of the people that are caught because of surveillance systems in the public. One of my favorite shows is this one called See No Evil. They are able to track down people who never would have been caught otherwise without surveillance. So what they do is they canvass businesses and they canvass neighborhoods and they ask people to provide their footage from their home cameras or from the business cameras. Sometimes they're able to track these people because they went to a gas station a few minutes before they went downtown. They look at your clothes, they match it up with what you were wearing. They can track you on foot based on your direction that you headed in certain areas. So to think that you're going to go to these protests and cause all this harm and just get away with it, I wouldn't bank on it. So I think what all of this is about is Trump really did not want to wait for these riots to spread. He felt that there was a delayed police response and he wanted to get ahead of it. There's no other country I can think of that would stand by open border policies and prioritize the needs of illegal immigrants over their own citizens. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris really spoiled these illegal immigrants. President Trump has already offered the illegal immigrants the opportunity to self-deport using the CBP Home app, and he's even gone as far as offering them a $1,000 stipend to self-deport. If they choose to stay here and take their chances with ICE, that's on them. They are choosing to break up their own families. They are choosing to remove themselves from the country by not complying with federal immigration law. The opportunity has been given to them to exit the country and come back in the proper way. If they're not taking it, it's their own fault that their families are being torn apart. Tom Homan already said that families can be deported together. They're not ripping families apart. You can leave with your family, take your children, your husband, whoever else who wants to go with you. If you're a family unit, you can all self-deport together. Tell me how you think looting and throwing Molotov cocktails at innocent people who are doing their jobs is going to help your community. When I say you people, I'm talking about illegal immigrants. I don't care what color they are. And they're probably going to do more raids. In fact, I heard recently that the quota has changed for ICE. Now they are expected to meet 3,000 deportations daily. With all of these people out there blocking highways, blocking roads, and causing so much chaos with these protests, you're not helping your community. You're blocking people from going to work, you're blocking people from getting home, you're blocking people from going to appointments, and those people didn't do anything to you. They're just minding their own business, and you are just blocking their day. You're being disruptive to the American people. And you're taking your flags and waving them while burning our American flag. How do you think Donald Trump is going to receive that if you are claiming to be someone who thinks you deserve to be here? You're burning the American flag. That shows us that you are anti-American and you don't really want to be here. That's not going to help your community. And I'm going to say this too. Some of the Latino community has been coming on social media throwing George Floyd in our faces. I'm hearing things like, oh, we marched with you guys during George Floyd. We were right there beside you. We helped, we fought, we used our voices. My response to that is, so what? So what that you did that? George Floyd was an American citizen. George Floyd was not an illegal immigrant, and he was violated. I think anybody would protest for something like that. So don't use that to try to finesse the Black community, FBAs, into the street. Don't do it. That doesn't work with us. And for the most part, many of us are not getting involved because it's not our business, especially the Latinos for Trump. Your community voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. And it's not news to anybody that he was going to deport a lot of illegals, whether they're Latinos, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Africans, whatever. He ran his campaign on mass deportations. He said that there was a migrant invasion. He planned to get these people out of here and terminate as many of these programs that he could. What is it that you think anybody can do at this point to save you? At this point, I don't even know how people can still support the Democrats. I don't. Now it's news to me that these people are Black and brown communities and we have a coalition. I always thought Black and brown meant just Black people. So many of these people have anti-Black racism. They want to better their community by moving away from Blackness. So I'm surprised that these people are calling themselves brown. These blue city mayors and their state governors do not care about Americans at all, period. They only care about these illegal immigrants. They will sit there and watch their cities burn to protect these illegal immigrants. They roll out the red carpet for illegal immigrants, okay? Meanwhile, there are American citizens and there are homeless people who are sleeping on the street, veterans who cannot get their benefits, children who are losing health care insurance. But these illegal immigrants come into the country, they are given free food, housing, clothing, luxury hotel stays, all sorts of benefits that many American citizens cannot have access to. Meanwhile, Americans are working 2 and 3 jobs sometimes to put food on the table and still can't get any type of assistance and still have to fund these people with their own tax dollars. The Dems do not care about you. They're going to always prioritize illegal immigrants over American citizens. I'm not going to stand behind that. For instance, look at Kamala Harris. Kamala stated that she wasn't going to do anything specific for Black people.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
And she said that with her full chest. You shouldn't be standing behind somebody who is here illegally because they are using up resources that they really should not have any rights to. And as long as you continue to vote for these Dems and back these blue city mayors and blue state governors, you are going to be second in line to these illegal immigrants. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when I say that the enforcement operations must continue. And from what I understand, all of these people who are trying to obstruct the process of ICE coming in to detain these individuals, they themselves will be prosecuted for obstruction and anything else I'm sure that they can charge you with because you are impeding the process of them removing these illegals from the country. And as I stated before, the administration has already offered $1,000 to illegal immigrants and the opportunity for them to self-deport through the CBP Home app. If they don't take that opportunity, they will be taking their chances with ICE. We don't know where they're going to house these people or for how long once they are detained by ICE. If they're here illegally, it's possible that they could be sent to Guantanamo Bay or El Salvador. We don't know. My understanding is that they are trying to find places or nations that will agree to house these people. Tell me what you all think about these anti-ICE protests that are happening around the country. Do you think they'll cause nationwide unrest or do you think they're justified? Leave a comment below. Also, if you like my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share my video with someone else who likes this type of commentary. Until next time, thanks for watching.